they're very, very, they're very sensible.
Yes.
So anyway. Nina, do you have anything that you want to start with? Some idea that you might have thought about during the week?
I have, but I wait for Sarah and Jonathan.
Okay.
I wait for Sarah and Jonathan.
Yeah, all right. That's
the best. Yeah.
That's true. We still have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
สวัสดีค่ะหม่อมค่ะ
สวัสดี
สวัสดีค่ะอาจารย์สวัสดีค่ะอาจารย์
ได้รับค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ
พูดภาษาไทย
ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ
ฉันชอบพูดภาษาไทยไม่มีโอกาส
แต่ว่าเวียดนามีกับพูดภาษาเป็น
เชิญค่ะคุณนีน่าสบายดีเหรอคะ
ขอบคุณมากค่ะสบายเงียบทุกอย่างเงียบที่ฮอลแลนด์ไม่มีเสียงดัง
ไม่มีใครทดลองเลย
ฉันชอบ
หม่อมชอบไหมคะ
อะไรคะ
หม่อมชอบไหมคะทุกอย่างเงียบ
เงียบดีกว่าใช่
ชอบเงียบ
แต่ว่าที่บ้านเราก็แบตตี้จะยืนได้ตอนเที่ยงคืนก็มี firework เสียงแต่ไม่เห็น
มีน้อยมีนิดหน่อย
ที่ฮอลแลนด์มีอะไรไหมคะ ที่เนเธอร์แลนด์มีอะไรไหมคะ
อะไรคะ
ทุกอย่างเงียบมาก
มีธรรมะ
มีพวกเนเธอร์แลนด์พวกดัตช์ดิฉันช่วย
ค่ะดีมากค่ะ
Yeah. แต่เขาชอบ meditation เขาชอบ
ไม่เข้าใจ
เริ่มเข้าใจบางทีมีคนที่เริ่มเข้าใจ
เวียดนามค่ะ All are you How are you Vietnam Vietnamese
เวียดนาม yeah.
How are you Vietnam friends
เวียดนาม
I'm fine สบายดีค่ะอาจารย์ค่ะ
Happy New Year in Thai สุขสันต์วันปีใหม่ วันปีใหม่เข้าใจใช่ไหมคะ New Year เชิญค่ะ If you have any question shall we begin
ขอบคุณอาจารย์
มีอะไรเรื่องพิจารณาเรื่อง
Okay
considering พิจารณา
Yes
เพราะว่าคนไม่เข้าใจคิดว่าเป็นม้วน shall I talk in English people think of considering they think it's like thinking but Ajahn you explain so well that it is like yoniso manasikara a moment of putting the mind in the right way we could say yoniso wise attention so otherwise it is I am considering I am thinking that is what we usually think
At moment of thinking is that the word I am thinking
at moment of is it the word I am thinking no
That's why there is always I after seeing, hearing, any moment of experiencing anything as Didaswa. See, Pavasava is the unknown. Even we don't use the word I am thinking, I am seeing. But when there's no understanding of seeing, who else? Only that which sees as I see. All the time, unknowingly.
Yes, it's so good to be reminded of the asavas because they're so subtle and they are not noticed really.
As long as there is something, they cannot be letting go of that because it's there as something. But when there's nothing at all, how can there be I or something? And what is the truth? No I and no thing, nothing, and then something very shortly, and then nothing again. So actually, it's nothing, only something happens and then gone completely.
It's good to explain about this because people ask that a lot. They are wondering about something and nothing.
Before seeing, is there seeing? Before thinking, is there thinking? Before hearing, is there hearing? See, how come from nothing before hearing? And then after hearing, nothing again. So where is that which hears or hearing? Never arise again. Only once, so very short in samsara, no more. That is nothing. The same word as sunyata, never ever permanent reality at all. Only there for a while and then gone completely. Couldn't be found at all after that. So it's really nothing. Otherwise, there cannot be letting go as long as something is still there. That's why it's not far away from this moment. The teachings of the Buddha, each word is about now, what appears. But the anusaya, the ignorance from moment to moment, years ago, is there in a moment. Only at the moment when it's there. And when it's gone, it passes on to other moments. That's why even asava is not far away. Anusaya is not far away. It is this moment. That's why if there's no understanding of this moment as nothing, how can there be the letting go of something or I? Is it true all the time, each moment unknown? But the truth is there, just there. So it's an accumulation of ignorance or understanding of this moment. So we talk about what is there as a self, as it's just not permanent, as it's conditioned, as it cannot be taken for anything because it's gone. How can it be something as we think? It's only just dreaming about the stream of that which arises and falls away by conditions from life to life. Never wake up to understand the truth of what is now as nothing. As long as it is still there, no matter what, they cannot be letting go of that thing, I, or whatever is there, until it does not appear anymore, never be found at all, never to arise again at all. That's why it is letting go, the idea of self, permanent thing. And this is a truth that it takes time to study, to really understand each moment of each different characteristic, that they are different, not by anyone, but by conditions. It proves more and more that there is no one who can make anything to arise, So just cling is there, because it takes something which is not there and still there, from life to life, from birth to death, and then next life again. But nothing is left, even just a moment ago. Who can find that which has gone completely? It's not the matter of just belief, but it's the matter of the truth is that it cannot be changed at all. That's the way it is. Dhamma, no one at all. And only right understanding, which understand truly, exactly, that characteristic as it is, cannot be changed into wrong understanding, still cling to that which is gone. See, so only panya can letting go the idea of wrong understanding, idea of self, of something permanent. Just once listening is not enough, because everything arises and falls away so very fast, very rapidly. So beginning to understand the difference between seeing and hearing and thinking right now, they seem together all at once, but they are quite far apart, can never be at the same time. The truth can be understood, but without considering carefully, wisely about the truth, it's impossible to get closer and closer to that which appears and then gone. Because it's not far away at all, just there now. When it's there, it's just once in samsara and never be there again. Are you Nina? See, was there Nina last life? And will there be Nina next life? Or is there Nina this life? See, only the different realities from moment to moment. No one, no thing.
But we still cling.
Yes.
And so we have to hear the truth a lot.
Because not understanding directly the moment of a reality, only one at a time. See? Because now there are so many things, but learn to understand that they are different. They cannot be the same. They cannot be at the same moment, different moment. The moment when seeing is there, the cetana or the other cetasika cannot be the object. See, even they are there. Only one can be the object of understanding, while there are so many things there. Because the nature of citta is that which is conditioned to experience just a reality, only a characteristic, only an object, not two together at all. So how fast citta arises and falls away unknowingly to form up the idea of something with different shape and form from moment to moment. Just live in the world of dream world about this and that, but actually it's just a dream. It's just a dream. Nothing is there. Or while reading a book, a novel, or whatever, no one there at all, but so many people in that book, from page to page, like now. So many things are there, but actually none at all. It's only the dreaming, thinking of that which is not there. As it's there, someone very permanent while one is reading about that person. Even thinking about Lord awake, see, if there is no absolute realities, how can there be such thought about that as something permanent, like someone in the book? But when we read, we think, we understand that it's not real person. But what is now, it's not real person at all. It's only different realities arising and falling away, like what is there in the book. But what is read is different, because what we read from the book is only the black and white and different lines, short or long, up and down. But this is different, but it appears to seeing exactly the same, different shape, and takes it for permanent thing. So no difference between those we see in television. See, we think that we see people on the screen, and now the screen is so wide, so many things are there to be thought about as different things, exactly the same. Moment of seeing, taking that for something, and then thinking about with attachment or aversion from life to life, and then gone. What for? Just to arise, play around with what appears, what is no permanent thing at all, no one at all. No matter what is seen or what sees, exactly the same. To understand just one word, Dhamma, that which is real, can bring about the understanding of no one and no thing, only Dhamma, that which is real. One at a time, only once in samsara. And this is the absolute truth that can be realized as the moment of enlightenment. About what? About what is there now, not different at all. Because the moment of enlightenment is exactly the same. Anytime, anything can be the object of the Four Noble Truth. The truth is always the truth. Nobody can change. But the rapidity of that which arises and falls away cannot be broken into just as Buddha had experienced. So those who have no thought about the truth of it take it for I and things from life to life. That's all. That's why we listen, to have right understanding of developing understanding of the truth right now. Not just for I, not just for my understanding, but to let go that which cannot be taken for anything, because it's no more at all.
Ajahn, you said we take what we see for being a permanent thing, and the crucial word there is permanent. But a lot of the time there is thinking of people and things, but no thinking about whether or not they are permanent.
So when you think of people, what is that?
Well, for example, now we are talking to each other. There are a lot of faces on the screen, but there's no idea of permanence, no particular thought of whether or not there's anything permanent.
But
likewise, when I look at that furniture in the room, table and chairs.
Yes, but who knows that what is seen cannot be hard, cannot be any shape or form, because before it becoming to be a shape and form, so many minute reality arising and falling away in split seconds. No understanding of how it follows instantly, rapidly.
That's correct. No understanding of the conditioned realities on which the idea is based.
As long as there is what is seen is something. Is it true?
Well, it depends what we mean by something.
Okay.
We mean,
So
because now in my field of vision are lots of objects, but I'm not really paying any attention to them. I'm focused on the discussion we're having. So I can see my computer screen, but I'm not giving any thought as to whether or not it's a thing. It's just there. And my focus is on discussion.
But is that which is seen a thing or what?
What do you mean by a thing, Ajahn?
Pardon?
I'm not sure what you mean when you say, is it a thing?
Okay. A pencil. A leg.
Can we talk about, say, the ear door for a moment?
We,
just to change a different doorway.
We don't talk about any doorway yet. We just talk about the reality to understand what it's meant by reality. Reality, many realities, different realities. See? So what is a reality? Can it be changed from nature? So exactly, even we learn a lot that what seeing sees, but it doesn't appear, as we said.
Right.
It's the
realities do not appear as realities. But that doesn't mean that the concept we have involves an idea of self.
So it's what if it's a self, because self doesn't mean I or people, anything.
It means an idea of permanence, for example, or essence, underlying essence.
So is what is seen now arises and falls away?
Is what is seen now arises and falls away.
Pardon?
I'm just trying. Could you repeat your question, please, Ajahn?
For example, I see you.
Right.
Okay, is that arises and falls away?
No.
It's in what is truth.
Right. Things are not seen as they truly are. Yes, that's correct.
In life, it's not easy to understand the truth that what is seen cannot be anything at all. Cannot be anything. So Buddha taught about what is there, which is seen. Where is it? Wherever there are the four primary rupas, there must be that which can impinge on the eye base to appear as it is. No idea whether it's white or black or blue or red, but it's seen. That which is seen is so very tiny, very fast, very rapidly, and then fall away. So how can it be a pencil? So one can understand one's own ignorance from considering what is meant by no one and no thing. Because as long as there is thing, only a thing, that cannot be letting go. So what Buddha said, only panya with the parami, the virya, to condition parami to develop on and on, there can be the letting go. So now no one knows that there is no letting go of anything because panya does not directly experience the truth of that to let go.
That's correct.
Even we talk about whatever namas and rupas, it's not the moment of letting go. It's moment of developing understanding. And in order to let go, it has to be anatta. And how does it let go? The moment of understanding, it let go. But no one knows. Like now, Sankhara-khanda, the Cetasikas are performing their function, each of them. No one knows. So at moment of understanding, where is the anusaya? It is this moment. Anusaya is there at moment of seeing, at moment of whatever there is citta, there must be anusaya. We don't talk about the moment years and years ago, because it's all gone, and it passed on to this moment. So all anosya is there now at this moment, and the understanding, letting go it at moment of understanding. But what about at the moment when there's no understanding of it? It's still there with anusya. So it works its way. Panya works its way. All Cetasika work their way. No one there at all. And what appears in life when there is no hearing about the teachings at all, can even there is the understanding of this moment that what is seen now cannot be anything. Otherwise, it's not letting go.
Could you elaborate a bit on that, Ajahn? What is seen now cannot be anything, because if what appears to be seen are people and things, then to say that people and things are not anything
Is
not the true meaning of anatta, is it? Because it's conditioned dhammas that are anatta.
Is seeing very short?
Is seeing very short? Well, it's momentary, we are told, yes.
How short it is?
Extremely short.
Okay, so that which is seen, is it short as well?
It would be.
So it cannot be the same for the next seeing at all.
Correct.
So nothing is not permanent. To be something.
But that's just by thinking, Ajahn.
Only thinking arises and falls away, and thinking cannot see. Thinking cannot see at all. See? So seeing a moment, who knows how short it is? Only once from nothing, and then seeing, and then nothing cannot arise again, cannot be taken for anything, cannot be found anymore.
That's correct, but that is not directly known.
So how can that be something when there is the understanding of what really is the object of seeing, not as we think at all?
Only when there are moments of awareness and understanding.
And at that moment, no one is seen. Just a moment of seeing, but it is nimitta of seeing. And seeing can see only that which can impinge on the eye base. The whole body, the whole chair, the whole cannot impinge on the body. But
No.
what is there? What is there? See, only when it's seen, it appears. But when there's no seeing, it cannot appear at all, even it's there. Like hot is there. But when there's no touching, it is not there at moment of not touching, only there at moment of touching. See, so life is so short like this that nothing can be taken for permanent thing or I, because so very short. This is why people or ordinary person cannot understand the truth. Just hearing is not enough, but to understand that now what we are talking about from hearing the teachings is here at moment.
You say nothing can be taken for permanency or I, which of course is correct, but in normal daily life, to what extent do we take things that are seen in the course of a day or heard or thought or tasted or touched as being permanent or I?
And can understanding develop?
Yes, it can, Ajahn.
How?
Gradually by conditions.
And more confidence on seeing as what is seen.
Yes.
Not the whole thing as something, but only that which cannot be can be anything. That is letting go the idea of that which is seen as something. So letting go has to be from the very beginning to understand what is meant. Letting go is that moment of enlightenment only, but even from listening, letting go with
Yes, the listening can condition some moments of letting go.
And then there is the understanding. It is unexpected. No one can wish or hope to have it, depending on moment of right understanding that can let go. Wrong understanding, which take it for something for quite a long, long time, wrongly, not as it is.
Yes.
That's why the way to let go, not to try to do anything different, because it's not I who can try, who can understand, but the moment of understanding is there to clean the anusaya, which is there enormously. No one can count each moment. There is more and more anusaya when there is kusala or akusala. And akusala is anusaya. See, this is the only way. Otherwise, how can there be the understanding that actually there's no self? What is there is only Dhamma. That's why Buddha used the term Dhamma. He realized Dhamma. He taught about Dhamma.
Yes.
Understand Dhamma as nothing.
Right.
Only
only when Dhammas are seen with awareness and understanding can there be an appreciation of no one there.
Yeah, and Panya knows the truth. How much is the understanding? Because we talk about what we read from the book and consider it, and it is the intellectual understanding. Without the intellectual understanding, no condition to be close to that which is now appearing so short and then gone, to be another higher level, patipatti, before it can be realized of it arising and falling away of each different one, only one at a time, but by nimitta. So this is the world of ignorance, the blind world, not understanding whatever appears, because without right understanding of the higher level, it does not appear well at all.
A lot of ignorance in one's life.
That's it.
All day.
That's why beginning to understand that to study the teaching of the Buddha must be to understand the truth, to be so truthful to the truth, and it can lead to the enlightenment of the truth. Because now it arises and falls away, unknown. At moment of hardness does not appear, but there is the idea of something is hard. My leg, my arm is there, see?
Something is hard. Well, there is the idea of something is hard, but that something, there may not be an idea of permanence associated with something.
But it does appear as arising and falling away.
Correct.
That is not enough, but it will lead to more understanding, to let go from wrong understanding from the beginning of studying with the idea of self into study to understand that actually there's no one. Otherwise, no matter how long will it go on in life, no understanding of it, as long as the I study. But to know the truth from the very beginning, Dhamma cannot be taken for anything because it's conditioned. When nothing arises, how can the world, the tree, and everything? But whenever what is there, something there, ignorance there. For how long? Long, long time ago. So it will take time to consider and firm understanding, more confidence on no I. Otherwise, no way to let go as long as it's something, I or not, but it's something there. See? But actually,
For example, if I want to walk from this room into the next room, I know that I have to open the door. I can't walk through the door. The door is something, but it doesn't mean necessarily imply an idea of self or permanence. I just know there's hardness in between me and the next room. I can't just walk through the door
But what walks
without opening it.
what walks through the door? Forget about that. Try to know just that as not self. But the self is each moment of the 5 khandhas.
There's still even the enlightened being, Sotapanna, will have an idea of having, I need to open the door to walk into the next room.
No wrong understanding as permanent I or real I.
Correct.
Dhammas. By conditions, it does not disturb. Even its great, very attachment is there.
The extent to which there's an idea of an underlying self will depend on the individual. But
So-
the mere fact that there is that thought doesn't necessarily mean wrong view is present.
Can anyone let go of the strong attachment?
And no one can let go of strong attachment. Only conditioned reality of panya can let go of strong attachment.
So who walks to open the door?
Well, that depends at the moment. Sometimes there might be strong idea of or strong attachment or
But as
idea of self, at other times not, depending on the thoughts that arise that are conditioned.
But as long as panya is not enough to understand a reality at that moment, what can understand that as not self?
Only panya.
So, but when panya is not there to understand even just a reality, then what can? No, nothing.
Nothing. So there could be ignorance, or there could be wrong view as well.
That's
Just
why.
depending. But there could be just ignorance.
Okay, that's why. Can there be that moment which understand a reality at that moment?
If understanding is developed, there can be.
That's why we learn about it,
Yes.
consider about it, to have more understanding about it, to have condition to have right awareness arising by conditions.
And we learn that the moments of wrong view have a particular characteristic that distinguish those moments from other moments.
But the first understanding of the truth is no one there, only that which appears. Otherwise, it does not appear well as long as it's I. But when there is no I, it's there. Another level of understanding of what is not there is there as the experience, which experience an object, no one.
Sorry, Ajahn, as long as I is there, do you mean as long as there is a thought of I am walking or something like that? Or do you mean the idea of self? When you say the I is there, you mean the idea of self?
Because even we use the word thinking, we don't understand thinking. For example, at moment of waking up, see, waking up, what does it mean? No more pavanka, and no more seeing yet or hearing yet, but there is thinking. Who knows that thinking moment? See, so everything is in darkness.
It's usually unknown. Ignorance.
Hearing.
When waking up.
Again and again to begin to understand firmly, more confidence, no change. That is the Satyayana of Pariyatti, 3 rounds of Four Noble Truth. The Satya of Pariyatti, the Satya of Patipatti, the Satya of Pativeda. So when it's not clear yet, when one thinks that it's clear, it's wrong. So it has to be Satya Parami to understand it. It's only intellectual understanding as long as the right awareness, direct awareness arises, then no doubt about that. So doubt can be eliminated very away, just very little, when there is panya of different level. But be sure that the truth is the truth. What is seen is only that which can impinge on the eye base. No thing, no hardness, no sound, no sight, no smell, only that which we detect for something is seen. But is there something, not just that, which impinge and then fall away? Because 17 moment is so very short before it can be anything right now. So many, many things. So how rapidly Citta arises and falls away. Or Dhamma is just like that. That's why without the teaching of the enlightenment, one can see how can it be so amazing, like a miracle, that it can and it appears as different world as we usually live in, with many things and many people. But it has to develop to let go the idea of self from the very beginning, that seeing is seeing, and now it sees something, so it's not the seeing which sees only that which is not anything at all. Beginning to understand little better, so that it can appear because of the understanding developed enough to understand that. So it depends only on understanding, whether it is what level, intellectual level or direct awareness. And when it's the direct awareness, it is so short again. Everything is so short. But Panya begins to understand the difference and let go the idea that I'll try, I'll go to meditation center or such wrong idea, which is not the right conditions for understanding to just arise because of hearing, considering wisely enough, more enough, long enough to unexpectedly there for any moment of understanding. It's just like now, see, unexpectedly, whatever arises, unknown. But even the truth is just right now. Without the teachings carefully, it's not known. And when it's known, it has to be knowing this moment with no one, no I. But that is the moment of direct awareness with understanding. Otherwise, it cannot be that level of understanding. Because anything can be touched, hardness can appear. But where is the understanding? So it's different from just intellectual understanding. That's why there had to be the Ariya Satya Jnana of the Four Noble Truth at level of Parinya, at level of Yat, at level of intellectual Pariyatti. Satya of Pariyatti never change from the truth that what is seen as it is something is not enough to let go. Something from now, everyone, things around. Actually, only different realities experienced through these different doorways. That's all. That's why we begin to understand what's meant by parami. And panya is the only thing which at moment of understanding, it is less attachment and wrong understanding and ignorance. Only that. Be patient, Khanti Parami, so great, so truth, Satya Parami, so firm, Adhidana Parami. No matter how difficult, no matter how long it will, one day, as Bodhisattva, but as Savaka Bodhisattva, it takes time too. Different level as different people. Sariputta, Moggallana, Ananda, all are different. And this is Dhamma. ยินดีด้วยในกุศลนะคะ ที่ยากมากที่จะรู้จักพระพุทธเจ้าจริงๆ
ใช่ครับยาก
และจะค่อยๆมั่นคงและจะค่อยๆ let go แล้ว
I believe that too. Just a little bit at a time, very gradually.
เป็นการตั้งต้นที่ถูกต้องค่ะไม่อย่างนั้นไม่ถูกค่ะยินดีด้วยกับกุศลของคุณจนทานกับคุณสามารถนะคะช่วยคนได้เยอะค่ะ
Thank you, Ajahn. She's saying grateful.
Ajahn, from what you've been describing just now, wouldn't that mean that even intellectual understanding is understanding of something, since it doesn't see rise and fall?
as something or as Dhamma
I mean, you were trying to point out that so long as the panya is not strong and has not does not see the rising and falling away of, say, visible object or sound, it's still something that's seen, that's heard. And since intellectual understanding is very weak, and I don't know, is that this understanding is still not associated with dhammas that rise and fall away? I mean, with the understanding that dhammas rise and fall away, therefore it is just dhamma something.
I think the point it's key in is that when it's the idea of something like my arm here or my scarf or the computer screen, it is the idea of permanence at that time, because there's no understanding that it's just hardness that is touched. It's my arm. So as soon as it's the idea of something, it's not the understanding of hardness that falls away immediately. There's the idea of something which lasts. And that's why at the stage of Sotapanna, the idea of permanence and the idea of self are eradicated together at the same moment. So while it's something here, something there, it is the idea of lasting, permanence. Keyboard is something that stays for a while. It's not hardness that falls away instantly.
So as Jonathan was trying to find out, does that permanence imply wrong understanding?
Yes, when it is the idea of something, it is wrong understanding. And when it is the idea of something, there is the idea of lastingness, permanence, which is wrong understanding. That's why the Ditthi Vipalasa of permanence and self are both eradicated at the stage of Sotapanna. So it is as soon as it's something here, not just giving a conventional wording, but the idea that it is something, my arm, or something seen, my friend Nina, or someone who lived, Lodovik. It is the idea of lastingness at those moments.
Or you don't even have to label, it's always something around.
Just something instantly. And that's
Yeah.
why the anusias are so deeply ingrained, and the asava of ditthi comes in so quickly, long before there's any idea of my arm or my scarf. Just looking at the screen, something there instantly.
The question is whether at that moment the characteristic of wrong view is appearing.
Usually that's the point about the asavas. It's not apparent, it's not known at all. So usually only when it's the gross wrong view arising is there some understanding. When there's the idea, we articulate that there is a self, there is a there in reality. It's apparent that it's wrong view at that time. But what about the more subtle kinds of wrong view and permanence? And each of these has to be eradicated. before the stage of Sotapanna.
Thank you, Sarah.
Appearing,
No.
its characteristic cannot be known at that moment.
Can you repeat? I didn't hear what you just said.
I said if wrong view is not appearing at that moment, if it's just the asava of wrong view that is involved in the way things are perceived, but the wrong view itself does not appear, then its characteristic cannot be known.
Right. So when ditthi arises, if there's no understanding, it doesn't appear, it's not known. So more to kinds, as panya grows, more subtle kinds of ditthi have to appear and be known. What is understood now is just the tip of the iceberg. So even now, looking at the screen, something there, it is the idea, there is the idea of permanence instantly, so quickly and then gone, before there's an idea of people or colors or shapes. So very subtle, the idea of something or someone.
Years will be some other reality to be known.
But as John was, I think, trying to point out that and asking for clarification from Ajahn, it's not like that perception of something happens so often. Very often it's just ignorance and attachment and other realities, not necessarily wrong understanding, right?
So only Panya can tell at this moment, like when walking through the door or looking at the screen, only Panya can tell if it arises what the reality is there. But the more Panya develops, the more it understands more and more subtle degrees of wrong view, more and more subtle degrees of ignorance. Like when people first start studying the Dhamma, they think they don't have any idea that there's much attachment or ignorance or wrong view in the day. But the more understanding develops, the more apparent it is that there's far more wrong view, far more ignorance than imagined, more and more and more. Now, in the middle of a Dhamma discussion, looking at the screen or touching one's arm, then wrong view is bound to arise. But if no panya, it can't be known.
And Ajahn, so what I think you're also saying is that so long as the anusaya is there, it will arise again and again, right? Ajahn or Sarah, you can answer that.
It has to. So the tendency, for anyone who's not familiar with the term, the anusaya, the latent tendencies. So as long as the tendency has not been eradicated, the tendency of wrong view hasn't been eradicated, it will condition the arising of wrong view whenever there are conditions for it to arise, until it's finally eradicated unexpectedly anytime.
Sorry, I'm not just there. Then, what's your question about anusaya?
Ajahn, at one point you mentioned anusaya.
Yeah.
What I gather from that was that what you were saying is that as long as there's anusaya of wrong view and to take what's not permanent for permanent, that that will happen again and again in the course of a day.
And who knows where is Anusia now? Is it here now?
No, only from hearing the Buddha's teachings can we know about Anusaya.
With any citta, as long as one has become Sotapanna and the Aryan saint yet. That's why it's the unknown, because it's there something already, not just Anusya, but also the moment of experiencing that object. And Anusya condition such reality as whether it is this or that. So we have to understand where is it, so that we can know it, and so it can be eradicated. Otherwise, without understanding, how can there be the eradication of Anusya? Doubt is still there about this moment, this reality, this object.
Ajahn, I didn't hear your answer to Sukin about Anusaya, but my question is about Anusaya. If Banya development of a high level with Sati directly experience the object, so can Banya understand the Anusaya? Not the level of the Sotapanna, but the level of high understanding.
So what are Anusaya first?
The detail, something detail, like detail, more detail about when the sati experience the object and at the moment pass away, they know the liking, dislike, or anything more detail.
It's the accumulation of akusala citta.
Yes, something like that.
From moment to moment. So when there is something, me or you, is it right or wrong?
Wrong.
So that is Anusya condition, that moment of taking it for I. See, when there's no Anusya, when there's right understanding, no more Anusya, no thing at all, only that which appears, and Kiriya Citta doesn't take it, doesn't cling to it anymore. See? So to be true, to be truthful to the truth, when there's no understanding of what is there, it is vichasava, right? It's there all the time, condition, moment of no understanding, kamasava, anusya, see, titta, anusya, it's there. So it's there all the time when there's no understanding. But when there is understanding, beginning from hearing and considering, to begin to understand that actually there's no I at all. Because what we take for I, from nothing to be something and then nothing again, never to be found again, no I. So it's the world of dhammas arising and falling away by conditions from moment to moment, unknowingly, the truth. So how can there be the eradication of ignorance when there's still no understanding of anything as it is? So Anusya is there with each citta, except those Arahata and Aryan who had eradicated Kusala stage by stage. So when there's no understanding, nothing can take the wrong understanding away, but the words of truth which talk about it can be studied, can be understanding the truth as, is it true? No one. Because a moment ago, they're seeing, and now it's not the same seeing again. Each moment is like that, but unknown. That's why we learn carefully, respectfully, to understand that each word should be studied and understanding it very carefully, very wisely, to understand stronger and stronger, more confidence on, not me. Otherwise, we study with the idea of you, with anosmia all the time. So beginning from actually there's no me, it's wrong understanding. So if there's me, what is me now? Where is me or where is I now? See, nothing at all. The seeing is not me, it's not I who see. Everything is it as it is, not I, or it does not belong to anyone. This is the beginning to letting go the wrong understanding and the idea of self. Instead of trying to think about anusia, because without understanding, who knows, it does not appear. When it appears, it is not anusia. It is asva, and at a degree of akusala.
So we can say at the moment of understanding or not understanding, till anusaya is there.
When there is understanding, is there avijja, no understanding? And they be together at the same time? Or when there is no understanding, there must be always ignorance and no understanding. But when there is understanding of a reality, there cannot be wrong understanding of it, little by little, until it appears. But it cannot appear to ignorance because ignorance cannot understand it. It appears to that which understands it as it is. Otherwise, it cannot appear as it is to that which cannot understand.
Okay, I got it. Thank you, Ajahn.
Only you asked before whether there can be understanding of anusia, but understanding can only understand what appears. That means what arises and is the object of the chitta. So the anusia are those akusala tendencies, the unwholesome chaitasikas, which do not arise, but they are carried from chitta to chitta at each moment during life until they are eradicated. But they cannot be the object of understanding because they haven't arisen. So only when for example, the anusia of ditthi, only when it conditions the arising of ditthi, can that ditthi be the object of understanding, can it be known? And only when it's known again and again and again through the development of satipatthana can it be eventually eradicated along with the anusia at the level of sotapanna. So it's there, but it cannot be the object of understanding unless it's conditioned the akusala chaitasikas to actually arise.
But Sarah, there can be an appreciation of anusaya when there's the understanding that the lopa arisen now must have been accumulated from the past.
Yes. But like now, there's thinking about how the lobha at this moment must have been accumulated and the tendency must be there. But at the moment of understanding, it is the reality of lobha that appears at that moment. And when there is understanding of lobha, no thought about the tendency or anything else, because it's just lobha itself which is known at that moment. So if we're talking about what can be directly known, it has to be that reality which has arisen and appears at that moment.
Sarah, can you say again about, you say Anusaya cannot be object. So can you say again? I didn't.
Like now, if attachment arises, then there can be understanding of the attachment which has arisen. Attachment can be the object of direct understanding if it appears at this moment. But if no attachment arises, there can be thinking about it. There can be thinking about how there is still the tendency of attachment, or after the attachment has arisen, there can be the reflection that the reason it arises again and again is because the tendency, the anusia, hasn't been eradicated. But the anusia itself refers to those tendencies of akusala that are dormant or are carried from moment to moment, but which haven't arisen. But without the anusia, the lobha now, the ditthi now, could not arise. So what can be known is the reality which appears, that which has arisen and appears is the object of citta, the object of understanding.
Okay.
So I have a question.
I want to add something. Yeah, the anusaya never arises with the citta. It only conditions the akusala, but it can never be the object because it doesn't arise. It's still there as an accumulation in each citta.
So my question is, in the case of the Buddha who taught us about the Anusaya, does that mean is it through inference also that he taught about it, or is it something totally beyond our understanding how it works?
In the case of the Buddha's wisdom, he is the one who could directly understand all the asya, the wholesome and unwholesome tendencies, and the anusya, the unwholesome tendencies of all beings now and in the past and in the future, whatever he put his mind to. So whatever he reflected on, whatever could be understood, could be directly understood. But for us, only that which has arisen, only that which appears can be the object of direct understanding. But we know when attachment arises out of the blue, or anger suddenly arises unexpectedly, we know from our study of the Buddha's teaching that it is because there are the anusya, the accumulated tendencies from moment to moment, life to life, never eradicated until those stages of enlightenment. So why is there suddenly the interest in Dhamma now, or the accumulation of understanding? Because the asya, the wholesome tendency, has been accumulated from lifetime to lifetime. So nothing is unexpected. Nothing is by chance or coincidence. It all comes back to the accumulations that are accumulated from one citta to another, unknown.
Okay, thank you.
Kun Tam, when you see something, do you like it or do you hate it?
Yes, it can be. Sometimes I like what I see, and sometimes I don't like what I
That's
see.
the one moment. When you see a thing or something, do you like it?
Yes.
Only that moment. But later you can hate it, right?
Yes.
How come? At moment when there is life, there's no hatred. But at moment of having hatred, there's no attachment, right? But it's there. Otherwise, how can it condition such moment? So at moment of whatever appears, should it be moment of understanding that which appears instead of trying to understand that which does not appear, but is there. Because you know, when there is that at all, there cannot be condition for that to arise, the end of it. But as long as there's still sometimes like and sometimes dislike, it means that there must be the accumulation for that to arise by conditions. And that which does not arise is called, as it is, anusaya. Without anusaya, that akusala cannot arise. But as long as whenever it arises, it means that there is anusaya. As long as there is akusala of that kind, there must be anusaya of that kind to condition its arising. So the more understanding of the truth, there is less and less accumulation of anusaya until it can completely eradicate it at moment, stage by stage of enlightenment. By then, no doubt about no more anusaya of that kind of reality, because it has been eradicated.
Yes, thank you, Ajahn. So I'm just thinking about another thing. Like we know that after the moment of Magga Chitta and Parachitta, then there is the reviewing consciousness, and that reviewing consciousness reviews the anusaya that have been eradicated. So does that mean at that moment the anusaya that have been eradicated? I just we cannot say that at that moment there is understanding, direct understanding of the anusaya. Just only what has been eradicated, right?
Where is that which hasn't been eradicated yet?
It has to be in the anusaya.
It is anusaya. It's
Mm-hmm.
Where is it?
It's not a reason.
But nowhere.
Dormant in the chitta.
At moment of ichita, when that hasn't been eradicated yet.
Yes. So the way that reviewing consciousness understands about the anusayas that have been eradicated is not the same way that the Buddha knows about the anusaya, right?
What he taught, just like few leaves in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Only that. And his wisdom is as great as leaves in the forest.
Yes.
And I don't think you can underestimate the power of those cheetahs, which directly experience Nibbana at moments of enlightenment, and the Pachawakana cheetahs, which follow immediately afterwards, and what can be directly known at that time. So different from now, at this moment, when thinking about the anusaya, like those cheetahs at that moment, which directly understand the nimitta of the anusaya that were eradicated, or the cheetahs which experience nibbana or nibbana itself. so very powerful immediately after the experience of Nirvana, quite different from now.
Very amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
I have a question, and it's about reality, nimitta, and concept. So, citta, for example, the seeing consciousness sees visible object, and very quickly, when that object falls away, there is the nimitta. But so the nimitta is then experienced by the mind door. But when does it become concept? Like it must be very quickly become concept, because Cetasikas and rupas arise and fall so quickly that those nimittas, there must be, well, what I'm thinking, there must be lots of them. So then it's got to become concept. Can somebody explain how that all works? Maybe Ajahn?
How many chittas are there now?
Well, there's only one at a time, Ajahn.
Yes, but how many now?
Oh, now, well, I would think there'd be maybe millions.
That's it. That's the answer.
Oh, okay, yes. Yes, okay, I understand. So it concepts, yes, chittas experience realities. Then when that reality has gone, there's nimitta, and then there's concept. So it feels like there's concepts all the time. There's me, there's my friends, there's the lamp, there's the computer, and it all happens very, very quickly. So, yes. Okay.
I mean, Azita, you probably heard this, that from Ajahn, that when the object is not a reality, then it's a concept.
Yes. Yeah.
We know if there's not the experience of reality, there cannot be the experience of the nimitta of reality. And if there isn't the nimitta of reality, there cannot be the experience of concepts. But there's so many countless cheaters that trying to find the fine line or trying to work out when it's nimitta or when it's concept. I think that is self again, that wants to know, that tries to work it out, not understanding of what appears now.
Yes, I think what Ajahn said, how many chittas are there now? Well,
right now
there are millions. Okay, thank you.
Lucas, do you have any topics you want to bring up today? Or anyone else?
No, not for today, Sarah. I think today I only will listen, but thank you.
I'm glad you could join anyway.
I wanted to ask Ajahn if she can talk some more about what she was talking the last time about being tired and being tired about seeing, about hearing, I think, and about visible object and when Panya, when understanding gets to that level, which it loses interest in the object of the experiencing of the citta and it can maybe it's letting go of the attachment to all the objects which we experience in daily life. Thank you, Ajahn.
What about just one word at a time, please? Because
yes,
related to other words, but just with one word to understand a little better.
Like tired?
Tired? Is that tired?
No.
Not at all. Really? How come the word tired when there's no tired? What is is real?
Not tired of seeing, not tired of visible object, not tired of hearing, not tired of
the body or the mind.
Thinking.
The body or the mind. When you mean tired?
No, I mean the mind. I mean the wanting to experience this or that or
Excuse me, are you tired of seeing?
No.
See, so can it be bodily or mentally?
Yes, I know that it's bodily tiredness, but I think you were referring to not to the being, not to the
reality for sure.
Yes.
So, is it pleasant to be tired?
No.
So it's unpleasant feeling, right?
Yes.
It can be in different aspects. And one is to be tired. At that moment, it's not pleasant at all, right?
Right.
And for the body, it can be tired when it works hard. See? So it's not mentally, but it's the unpleasant feeling through the body. Without the body, can there be the tiredness of the body?
No. It needs the physical body for tiredness.
When the combination, composition of the primary rupas are not in desirable condition, we call it tired, right?
Yes.
Any part of the body can be tired, sleep, unable to do anything fluently, quite well. See, no self, no one, by conditions. That's all. To understand that actually what is there by conditions, different one. One can experience, the other cannot experience. That's all. In order to understand that which is so doubtful, what is it? It's a reality, pleasant or unpleasant, and it's not self. Pleasant is just a reality, which is mental factor, feeling. Just that.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
When there's no citta, can there be tiredness? Mentally, bodily?
No way.
That's why it's just mental factor. Depending on touching to the body or the minder. And what is meant if one says, are you tiring of seeing?
Maybe that no more interest, no more condition for seeing to arise.
Not wanting to experience that unpleasant object.
Okay.
So tiring. See it again and again, over and over, every day, no matter it's food or whatever. See? Just a reality conditioned, arising and falling away, never to be returned, never to arise again. So what's the use? To be tired or to be tiring of such and such, it's gone completely. What is there as the object of unpleasant feeling or pleasant feeling is gone forever, never to appear again. So why cling? It's gone completely. But the next one can be the object of clinging again. The new one, the new thing, the new experience. See, never enough as long as there are still conditions for such reality. So actually, the best thing is to be tiredness of ignorance.
Right.
Ajahn, were you referring to the panya that sees the characteristic of dukkha in all realities?
Unsatisfactoriness of that which arises and falls away because it cannot bring about pleasant feeling anymore. From moment to moment, all gone completely. What's the use of just having so short that reality, which is like or dislike? The same thing, not more again, never more. Letting go, release a very little from moment to moment until it arises again, from hearing and considering wisely, little by little. Otherwise, there's no condition for understanding the truth of it because there is still clinging to that which arises after the previous moment instantly. Seems like the same permanent thing.
I think, Sukin, earlier when there was a discussion about being tired of this or that, usually when people say they're tired of seeing or they're tired of living or they're tired of hearing and so on, they're just different kinds of dosa with unpleasant feeling, not liking what is heard, not liking what is seen because of clinging to another object, wanting to experience something different. And the other one that Ajahn was talking about was when one's physically tired. This is the painful bodily feeling, the tired bodily feeling which arises at those moments with the vipaka citas, with the body consciousness, but just for a moment, that unpleasant feeling with the bodily tiredness is just for a moment, and then it's followed usually by countless moments of thinking with dosa about being tired or it being so unpleasant. And this is different from when she referred to how the best is being tired of ignorance. So in this sense, it was tired of ignorance in a wholesome sense at moments of panya, at moments of panya, it it understands how unhelpful, how unwholesome all the countless moments of ignorance are, and how it's time for panya to develop. So this is quite different from the usual just being tired of seeing, tired of hearing, even tired of ignorance with dosa, or tired of having wrong view with dosa. So it's tired of, but with understanding at those moments. So 3 kinds of being tired. Usually when we talk about being tired, usually it's dosa that is being referred to. Tired of getting up, tired of having to do the cooking, tired of hearing, tired of seeing. It's just dosa about what is being experienced, not the object we'd like, conditioned by clinging.
But when referring to panya of that high level and being tired of ignorance, why only ignorance? Why not any reality?
It can be any reality, but ignorance in particular, not understanding the truth. In other words, it's time to understand the truth now, time to develop understanding.
But even that is unsatisfactory. The understanding is unsatisfactory.
Yes, whatever arises is unsatisfactory, not worth clinging to. However, whilst ignorance goes on and on and on, life goes on and on and on, samsara continues on and on. So only the eradication of ignorance can bring an end to seeing and hearing and all the conditioned realities which are so unsatisfactory. So time to develop understanding, time to develop the path which leads to the eradication of ignorance.
So, Sarah, why is the second noble truth attachment and not ignorance?
It's attachment, and when there's attachment, ignorance is there. So it's attachment with ignorance. Without ignorance, then there cannot be any attachment. So whilst there are conditions for attachment and ignorance, life goes on. Like when we read about the Four Noble Truths, and it mentions attachment as the cause of all dukkha, but ignorance is applied. And when in Paticca Samuppada we read about ignorance, first condition, it is ignorance and attachment is there, which leads to the continuation of life in samsara.
Ignorance is the first link of the dependent origination, as you'll know, Alan. Mm-hmm. So from ignorance, all the other aspects of life in samsara and the cause of continued existence in samsara follow. So in different teachings, the Buddha emphasizes different realities, so that there are different ways of explaining the disadvantage of life in samsara.
Mm-hmm. And the understanding of the unsatisfactoriness of life in samsara, this is different from the I'm tired of living, I want to die, I don't want to continue on, I don't want to keep waking up. This is the first kind of being tired with dosa, not the understanding of seeing now, hearing now, the unsatisfactoriness of what is seen or heard now.
Mm-hmm. I suppose also attachment sweeps us away from understanding reality as well. We're concerned with the pleasant things in life, whereas although that is dependent on ignorance, attachment is different, isn't it? It's moving us away each moment from understanding reality. Because the second noble truth isn't ignorance of reality, is the cause of dukkha, although it is rooted in ignorance.
ignorance is there, but it's the clinging to that which is unsatisfactory again and again and again, wanting to see now, wanting to hear now, wanting to keep experiencing, wanting life to continue now.
Could you explain a bit about the word sati sampajanya, which is clear comprehension? I think there are 4 aspects of clear comprehension.
Well, first of all, sati, awareness, and sampajanya means panya, or understanding. So it is the development of sati and panya together. That is sati sampajanya. And then, as you say, it mentions the 4 kinds of sampajanya. I don't know whether this is a big topic. I don't know whether Ajahn would like to talk about them first.
Can there be sati sampajanya without understanding?
No.
So at moment of understanding intellectually about this moment, it's not permanent, it's conditioned. Is it sati sampajanya at level of patipati, direct awareness with understanding, which has understood as the foundation for that moment to arise, to understand. Not just to arise only, but to arise and understand, in order to understand directly. So this is the difference. At moment of talking about seeing, it's not the direct understanding of that which sees, right?
Yes, yes.
So that is not sati sampajanya. So how can the arising and falling away appear when there's no direct awareness at moment when it arises and falls away, even as nimitta?
So sati sampajanya only refers to the direct understanding of reality.
Patipati in Pali.
Okay, so even pariyatti is not sati sampajanya.
It can be sati with panya, but not satipatthana, not satindriya, not satipala, which are the ways to enlightenment, the truth. As we are talking about, exactly the same.
Okay. So as I understand it, one aspect of sati sampajanya is suitability of place. Have I heard that correctly?
No panya.
I haven't heard it correctly then. There would be sati sampajanya when there is the direct awareness of a reality, and that
Conditions only as anatta.
Yes.
Firm confidence, much more confidence than just intellectual understanding, because it is there, that which is said, that which is taught, that which is known, is that the reality, the function, the moment is there. As no one otherwise, as long as it is I am aware, it's not sati sampajanya.
Okay. Yeah.
Each word will bring to understanding the anatthaness, which is the absolute truth of all dhammas.
It would seem that the Bodhisattva, how could he develop paramis, because the paramis depend on understanding. Nobody can have kindness or compassion at will. So it needs understanding in order to develop it. But the Bodhisattva wouldn't have had that available to him, would he? How can the Bodhisattva develop paramis if that Bodhisattva is not having access to the teachings?
So all bodhisattvas understand clearly about anatta-ness. See, all depends on condition to be born this life as that life as that, naturally by conditions for moment of understanding to develop in their daily life in different aspects. When there is no panya, people behave wrongly, evilly, see? But when there is right understanding, there's just more understanding of the benefit of kusala, because a kusala cannot bring about any understanding. It covers up the truth. That's why understanding the anatta-ness better and better and better keeps bodhisattva to be born in different life, to all dhammas develop from understanding little by little.
So the bodhisattva must be able to listen to the teachings in his various lives in order to understand anatta.
Otherwise, there must be atta, try so much in this life. See?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So he would listen. So Gautama Buddha must have listened in many, many lives to the teachings of the Buddha.
And the understanding of anatta-ness only is that which let go from the very beginning. No I, not for me to understand at moment of listening.
So when we hear about developing kindness or compassion, actually without the understanding of anatta, it seems pretty useless, because it is a conditioned moment. Nobody can have it at will. So in order to develop it, there must be the understanding of anatta. Is that right?
Only panya is that which can eradicate defilements, together with all paramis as conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Among all conditioned realities, panya is the best, because it can eradicate all wrong understanding or wrong, unwholesome akusala completely, permanently. Great miracle of panya.
So with no panya, there's no parami.
Right. No matter how much one is so good, without understanding, it cannot lead to understanding whatever appears now as no self, no thing, no one. Only a very short moment of arising and falling away, and then no more. Is it tiring?
I seem to remember a sutta about being bored with the arising and falling away, that it, for one who has that level of understanding, there's no point in a reality which comes into being and then is gone immediately.
So the truth is that as long as it is there, I think there cannot be letting go at all.
Right. Yes. So if we have the idea of face or hand or foot, that is permanent, and therefore it covers up the reality, which hardness is just arises and falls away. So when we have this idea of something, there's no clear comprehension of the reality.
Which is now. All are now. Anusaya, and everything is now. Arising and falling away is now. No self is now. Nothing is now. But it's covered up very thickly. And only the right words which bring about the understanding, can open it just a little, like very dim light in darkness, until the light is greater, more and more, to see what is there clearer and clearer, to understand just even one, only one, directly at moment when the nimitta of that arises and fall away.
Mm-hmm.
And this is now, this moment. We don't have to find Dhamma the other way, but it's now. So as long as it's not direct awareness and right understanding of what is there now, it's not enough. It can be just level of intellectual understanding. And
Yes.
this is Satya Parami.
Yes, the intellectual understanding cannot eliminate the idea of something.
And that can be the beginning of understanding the words of the Buddha deeper and deeper, as now whatever appears does not appear well. See, what is the meaning of well?
Mm-hmm. That characteristic is not known as just a characteristic on its own.
Not as it's there because it arises and then fall away. That is well. But it's not at the first vipassana jhana, because panya has to develop more and more well.
So really before the first vipassana jhana, we cannot know what is wholesome and what is unwholesome precisely, because the object of understanding isn't precise. So it just cannot be known whether this moment is wholesome or unwholesome before vipassana jhana. Is that correct?
When its characteristic does not appear yet, it is only intellectual understanding. No matter we talk about what, like seeing now, the reality of seeing does not appear. But there is the understanding of that, but not directly aware of it. At moment when it's there and nothing appears, just that. That is clear and well.
And then we've got, there's a different level of knowledge applied after the vipassana jhana. So when a vipassana jhana is attained, that is significant, and that knowledge can be applied again and again. Is that right?
By conditions. That's why that can be the understanding of the word of Buddha, which is parinya. What is directly experienced applied to what moment in life after that moment by conditions.
So the word parinya means, can you explain that again? The word parinya means?
If you haven't seen that yet, how can you think about it?
Yes, yeah.
When you have seen it, never forget. So there can be some moment which understand that as when it's there, so clear. But it's not as clear as when it's vipassana jhana, but it's clearer than not having seen it before.
Yes.
That's why it is parinya after the vipassana jhana.
And also much more at that level, it will be conditioned much more confidence, wouldn't it? Because it's no longer in the book about seeing and visible object, but it's the direct experience. So I can understand that person would be much more confident, much more difficult to deflect from the right practice for someone who's attained vipassana jhana.
Unexpectedly, how great it is, because it hasn't happened yet. The understanding directly, and now it arises and falls away, It is known as seeing sees, but no experiencing the seeing as no self and no one. But when the reality appears as it is, no one and no self, the characteristic of that which is there, only there, like that can be known, that whatever is just the same, depending on conditions. No wish to have it more often or at what time, but depending on understanding, there can be wishing, wanting to have it again. But Panya has to be patient to understand that that is wrong. See, that's an understanding of the difference between level of Kanti Yana from different yana, begin to know how much it has to go on more and more and more and more after Vipassana yana. So now it cannot compare to the moment when it must take more time to develop by anattanis. Otherwise, it cannot be completely, absolutely eradicated, never again in samsara.
Yes, I've heard a phrase, I think that was your phrase from a long time ago, that there's never enough understanding because each moment is conditioned. So no one can do anything. And that phrase can condition patience because no one can do anything at all.
It's lost, but it depends on conditions. To condition it to rise again, but different moment.
Yes.
And it can be more by conditions. That's the meaning of Khanti Parami. To understand of no one, see, only just that word, no one, nothing, not at all.
And already there's letting go at that level of understanding of not trying, not wanting, or not expecting. Realizing that's wrong is, as you say, it's a relief, isn't it? Because no one can do anything.
Of Panya.
Many people have the want to experience Nibbana, but after Nibbana is experienced, can it be the object of attachment?
To what?
Nibbana. So something about Nibbana that we cling to the idea of Nibbana, of wanting to experience it, but
clinging to anything except Lokuttara Dhamma.
It cannot be clinging to the reality of Nibbana only to an idea like now, only to a fantasy, not to the reality.
And after that Nibbana is experienced, that clinging to the idea of Nibbana would not arise anymore.
Not to Nibbana, the reality, or the Lokuttara Dhammas, the Marga, Chitta. Not to the Marga, Chitta, or the Parachitta either.
So we say any object can be the object of attachment except the Lokuttara Chittas.
And Nibbana.
And Nibbana.
9 Dhammas.
What Dhammas?
9 Dhammas. The 9 Lokuttara Dhammas.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. And why is that? Why is Nibbana not the object of attachment?
Because they can only be the object of understanding.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that cannot be experienced unless there is Panya. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Are you clinging to Nibbana now?
No.
When there's
I'm clinging to coffee now.
When there's understanding can cling to Nibbana.
So, sorry, say that again.
When there is no understanding of Nibbana, people cling to Nibbana.
I see.
What,
Yes, when there's no understanding of it, people not knowing what it is. Yes. Yeah. So I'm losing the sound now for some strange reason.
Clinging now to a fantasy of Nibbana, or clinging to wanting to understand what is Nibbana, but not clinging to the reality of Nibbana.
Yes, yes, I see. Yeah. It's just an idea that we cling to. Mm-hmm.
And who cling?
Yes.
Who?
It's just clinging clings. No one.
For those who have been the enlightened person.
Yes, yes. Yes, there is the idea before experiencing Nibbana, that's the idea of I want to experience Nibbana. Yeah.
What about just understanding what is appearing? It's gone all the time. See, what about understanding only this first?
Mm-hmm. So we can see that attachment, it moves us away all the time from this moment.
And only Panya can see. Other really cannot see lopa, attachment at all. That's why only Panya cannot be the object of attachment. When it's real Panya at that level of enlightenment, as enlightened people.
Mm-hmm. Because it's no one.
Right, because clear is just clear. Why trouble? It's gone. No doubt about it, rising and falling away. No self. So there can be anything which the Sotapanna hasn't eradicated yet as object to be understood clearly, to be Sakataka, the higher level.
Mm-hmm. The Sotapanna can still think of himself, though, can he not?
As Dhamma.
As Dhamma, because he would have to do his daily life would, or her daily life would be the same as before. So he has to go to the shop, or she has to go to the shop. What must I do today? How can I do this thing?
As before becoming Sotapanna.
Yes, it'd be the same thinking. But nobody there, just different realities arising.
About reality, no clinging to anything itself anymore. Panya is Panya, only Panya. Mana is only Mana. Lopa is nothing. To be known more.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, for the Sotapanna, there can still be the idea, I think, of my arm or my leg.
But it's not permanent.
Right, that's the difference.
Hardness.
It's not taken for self.
Yeah. As usual, but with understanding if not permanent, not real, just there, only there. To becoming Sakatakami, less clinging.
But Ajahn, the not permanent the anicca, dukkha, anatta relates to conditioned realities and not to concepts.
Whatever is the object of the sotapanna, the wrong understanding, is that as something permanent, as self or being. But there is the attachment and mana.
Yes.
But no titi, wrong understanding anymore.
Right. So he can still think, or he or she can still think, my body is more beautiful than the next person's body, or something like that.
With lopa to that.
Yeah.
But even it's not permanent, but it's not the other.
And Ajahn, Sotapanna would still go to a doctor to fix something, right? And not necessarily with clinging either.
Only no understanding there is permanent I or I. They are different dhammas, all are dhammas, no doubt about one. But there are still conditions for the other dhammas which hasn't been eradicated to arise, to be known more, to become detached little by little, more and more, until even mana can be eradicated with lopa.
Still plenty of clinging to the body, even if no wrong understanding that there is a body in reality. Still clinging to what is taken for the body. Because loba is only eradicated to sensuous objects by the anagami.
Yeah, but even an arahat would decide to eat to fill his,
To live. But without, in the case of the arahat, no clinging at all.
To sustain the body, yeah.
But before that, like for the Sotapanna, still clinging to sensuous objects.
Desire to eat, but not me who desire.
Right.
Me who's hungry.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm clinging to.
But he or she can still think of me and you and them and so on and so
Not
forth.
the other.
But not with the idea of an underlying self.
Anger is anger. Attachment is attachment. It has a reason by conditions. No I who can make it arise, but it's there until no conditions for its arising anymore.
Right.
Desire to eat is desire.
Yes.
Desire to see, desire to hear, desire to touch pleasant objects.
Ajahn?
Yes.
Yes. So it seems though that desire to learn a bit more about Dhamma, to study a bit more, although we know it's akusala, it does seem to add in gradually to a beneficial state, like without any desire, even if it's akusala, even if it is akusala to learn, would there ever be the kusala type arising?
What's that? As long as it's not known as it is, there must be the idea of self, which has to be eradicated first of all.
Yes.
That's why Panya doesn't afraid and is not afraid of anything, because it can understand the truth. And the truth is not I. So how can there be such fear or afraid not to understanding it, better understanding it, no matter what is there, to have more confidence or no self, no me. It's just there for a time, short or long by conditions. Just learn to understand it. It's a characteristic which is not self or anyone at all.
So does that mean it doesn't matter whether it's akusala or kusala? It's just anything is okay.
And the truth of akusala is the truth. So Panya can see the difference between akusala and kusala, and its function of Panya, or the degree of Panya, how much it can eliminate or still have more condition for it. But Panya has to grow stronger and stronger, not to mind whatever is there as self as before. Only that's all. So Panya keeps on understanding all kinds of what has been accumulated as not self. Like Angulimala, see, no regret. Or when there is regret, right understanding is there as not me. Only a moment of such reality, uncontrollable, and it's gone. The first thing to understand is no self, no matter it's what, which is conditioned to appear, which is used to take for self, but actually it's gone. So that cannot be anything. Only that which is conditioned. No one can change it. It's there already. It's gone already. Panya is brave enough, courageous enough to understand the truth. Otherwise, akusala cannot be eradicated. And as long as there is the idea of self, wrong understanding cannot be eradicated. Only when there is more understanding of it's just that a reality which is different from other, and they are gone. Nothing can stay. This is the way to let go the idea of self from all dhammas, no matter it is kusala or akusala.
Thank you, Ajahn. We're out of time, but just on that point, I feel very relaxed about this, because theoretically I understand there's no self, and that conditions just condition everything. It can lead to a little bit of maybe too much relaxation. Whether I listen or whether I don't listen.
And
is
we
the understanding
see
directly of
that
myself.
life different. The different is the understanding, not just as we wish it to be different, to be more kusala.
I think we better carry on next time, but maybe
Okay,
you could continue it next time, Robert.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Ajahn. Sawadika.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
สวัสดีครับอาจารย์ครับ very much อาจารย์ค่ะอาจารย์
ครับอาจารย์
สวัสดีค่ะอนุโมทนาค่ะ